Alright, so to understand the difference between wolves and coyotes, like if you're from the West in New Mexico, we say coyote. But coyote is also a correct pronunciation. Either way works. According to the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, the coyote spirit is trusting in your divine detours, and the wolf spirit is turn your knowledge into wisdom. They're both so beautiful. And we'll read what the guidebook says about those later. But first I want to go in just to some of the more muggle differences between the two. This is from my grimoire. So, and I think it came from like Google. So anyway, wolves weigh between 60 to 120 pounds, and they're longer and larger than coyotes, which only weigh 20 to 50 pounds. So coyotes are more prevalent and more comfortable around humans. Coyotes have noses that are narrow and more pointed. Coyotes' ears are taller and more pointed. Wolf tracks are roughly 4 by 5 inches, and coyotes are like 2.5 inches. So although they have similar coat colors, they have different facial characteristics. The coyote has a narrow snout and a small nose pad, with large ears relative to its head size. Hey, Briggs! Briggs is so glad we're learning about this. His arch enemies. Yep. Okay, the wolf has a broad snout and large nose pad with small ears relative to its head size. It's important to note that wolf pups in the midsummer and fall can closely resemble coyotes, and it can be nearly impossible to tell them apart. So there's the scientific name, Coyote Canis latrans, gray wolf Canis lupus. So the face, small nose pad, broad, large. It just shows the differences, like the shoulder height, 21 to 24 inches for coyotes, but 26 to 32 inches for wolves. Coats gray or reddish gray or reddish brown for coyotes, and often grizzled with a whitish throat, chest, or belly. But for the wolves, gray wolf is most common. Grizzled gray, but can also be mostly or all black, white, or cream coats, although they're rare outside far northern populations. So this is how you can tell the difference by sound. Coyotes have a higher pitched voice. Their howls are shorter. They're rising and falling in pitch, and usually interspersed with yips, yaps, and barks. Guys, I was born in New Mexico, and grew up in like West Texas, New Mexico, and that's makeup on my hand, by the way, sorry, but I just realized, but I used to fall asleep to the sound of both wolves and coyotes out there. And coyotes, to me, they have such a mystical, magical sound to them. Like, they just sound so wild and like feral, like, I don't know, there's just something so wild about them. Whereas wolves, they sound mystical in their own way, but it's like more of like a, I don't know, it's like a magical, like mysterious kind of vibe. Like, their vibes are totally different, but they're both just so beautiful and haunting to me. But a gray wolf, their voice is typically lower in pitch. I can't turn the page. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, yep. So here we have some pictures. And a wolf's howling tends to be long and drawn out. Oh! Whereas, like, you know, a coyote's like, yip, 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 woo, woo! Like, I don't know, crazy. It's so fun. My videos are awesome. You never know what I'm going to do. Okay, so wolves can also include growls and barks. Alright, and this shows their tracks. So that's a coyote track. You see they measured it. You can find this on Google. hind foot has a wide lobe. The front foot has a narrow lobe and main pad. So it's crisp edges for the coyote, especially in summer when less hair is present. Long axis of the toes, typically parallel, and the claws of the outer toes may not register. Whoa, look at the difference in the gray wolf. Yeah, the coyote was only 2.25, 2.75 inches long, whereas the gray wolf is 4 to 5.5 inches long. Oh my gosh. So it's very robust, especially in the winter when extra hair is present between the toes. The inner toes appear bigger than in coyote tracks. And all 4 claws will typically show in tracks. So that's a good way, besides just the size, is that if you see all 4 prominently. So they're quite different, as you can tell. Of course, this is in snow and that's in mud, but still. I think it should be pretty easy to tell them apart in the wild. Don't you, Briggs? He's like, yeah, I can smell them. I know one I can take because he outweighs it. He outweighs a coyote, but he's not going to outweigh it. I don't see Briggs, the lazy familiar, trying to go head-to-head with a wolf. So, let's see. Okay, this is something else. Yep. Okay, so that got mixed up with it, so let me just put that aside. So, let's go ahead and see what the Spirit Animal Oracle has to say about wolves and coyotes. And I just wanted to show you my little, it's Mexican onyx. It's all Mexican onyx, even though they're all so different. Nature's amazing. And I got this, you know, because I'm from New Mexico and it reminds me of home. And I just assumed, you know, it's a wolf howling at a coyote. Because, you know, coyotes, New Mexico and all that. But then I found out that my power animal is the wolf. And I really, honestly, if it was going to be some kind of canine, I would have thought it would be the coyote. But that's why I was shocked when it was the wolf. So to me now, this is the wolf howling at the moon. So this is very near and dear to my heart and reminds me of home. Alright guys, it says the coyote spirit means we should trust in divine detours. The oracle message is, do you find that you are being led on a strange detour in your life right now? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Always. Does it seem that what appears to be the next right action and the right choice, best situation, or fabulous relationship unexpectedly turns into the opposite, or just disappears into thin air as if you've been tricked? Coyote Spirit's trickster energy is designed to bring you into situations to teach you lessons you have forgotten to learn. Perhaps you need a taste of failure before you experience success. A need to feel disappointment before you can truly appreciate joy, love, and prosperity that is coming up for you. Perhaps you are revisiting a pattern you forgot wasn't in alignment with the life you are intending to co-create. Being reminded that gratitude, not complacency, will keep you awake and aware of all that is available to you in the moment. Coyote Spirit reminds you to laugh about the unexpected twists, to develop humility and gratitude. Humility and gratitude while releasing your attachments to the form of your desires. Even when you suddenly find yourself on a detour, wondering when you will get back on track to manifesting what you desire. Remember that Spirit has a plan and wants the best for you. Trust in divine order now. Coyote Spirit is a divine helper. No matter what seems to go astray, things are exactly as they are supposed to be. And then it says, I'll just read like the first little bit of the protection message because it's long. protection message. Well, maybe I can read it. Yep, that's all. I'll read it. Sometimes a goal is so enticing and alluring that you lose your footing in the pursuit. You begin to fixate on capturing this prize, whether it be an opportunity you have always wanted, a relationship with that elusive someone, or the compromise of that big break. Coyote Spirit warns you that this trickster energy seducing you now will yield nothing but disappointment and unnecessary heartache if you let yourself be fooled. Great Spirit wants the best for you, so when your plans go topsy-turvy, know that Coyote Spirit is present to protect and bless you. Listen to her gentle warning not to take the world too seriously or become too attached to the form and timing of your desire. Something better is beckoning. If you learn your lessons and lighten your heart, it will not be long before you see the crooked through the path. Though the path may have been, you were on the right one all along. And all that reading put Briggs to sleep. I'm sure it put you to sleep too. Hang in there. Let's find out about the wolf. Alright, so Wolf Spirit says to turn knowledge into wisdom. It leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Be loyal, like Briggs. Briggs is loyal. He's dreaming. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. It's beautiful. I'm going to have to highlight that. The appearance of Wolf Spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. And the protection message. What is unknown is still yet to be discovered. When Wolf Spirit appears, you are being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning. Oh my gosh, we're never done learning. Or you don't have to know something. I want to know it all. Be open, be humble, be teachable, and the world will open itself up for you like magic. Now is the time to look into the world with reverence and awe and an insatiable curiosity. You will never grow old if you're willing to keep learning. Wolf Spirit is waiting to be your mystical, loving guide. So, I think, to me, the great difference in this oracle between the coyote and the wolf, I think the coyote might represent, and this deck seems to be leaning toward more feminine energy, which is good for this analogy because I feel like the coyote spirit might have more of the maiden energy, and I feel like the wolf may be at the mother transitioning into crone energy. And maybe that's why this is such a significant guide for me right now, because I'm currently on that path. I'm transitioning from the mother to the crone, and honestly, it is the most beautiful transition, and becoming the crone is one of the most magical parts of my life. And so that's really a significant difference between the spiritual energy of the coyote versus the wolf spirit. And it's more like starting a path and having had experienced the path and knowing your way, you know. That's kind of the feel I get from these two. So let's see what Stephen D. Farmer has to say about the two, or whichever one he may talk about. I don't know if he has both in his book, Power Animals. So let's find out. Moving right along. All right, so we do have the coyote and the wolf in Stephen D. Farmer's Power Animal book. And the coyote, the quality of the coyote here is paradox. And the message is, surprise, it's me, full of life, not always sure why I do the things I do. Yeah, definitely the young maiden energy. Sometimes befuddled and chagrined, but I keep on trying. Maybe the coyote was me in my younger days. Perhaps. Sometimes I stubbornly and willfully try to solve problems by doing the same thing that didn't work before. Yep, that was me. But no matter, I'm a survivor, and so are you. How many times in your life has something seemed to go wrong, only for you to find out later that it was an important life lesson, simply a step on your spiritual path? When you really get that life is one big paradox, then you know the true secret of life. There are no negativities except as they complement the positives. Yeah, that's true, because there can't be positive without negative. There can't be light without dark, masculine without feminine, so on and so forth, wisdom and folly. And I think that may be the complete essence of the difference between coyotes and wolves. Wolves are wisdom, coyotes are folly. So let's see. Never take any of this too seriously, particularly with those times you seem to only blunder along from one error to the next. Laugh about it, cry about it, but let those tears be of relief rather than despair. It's only life. It's no big deal. So, if the coyote is your power animal, no matter how seemingly difficult or challenging a situation is, or when things don't go according to plan, you're always able to see the humor in it and also help those around you to lighten up. You're always looking for hidden lessons in difficult situations. Usually you find something that has some immediate relevance and meaning for you or those around you, typically something which ordinarily would have been overlooked. You're remarkably resourceful with an amazing capacity to adapt to any situation. You're a teacher, whether it's your actual profession or simply the way you are with others. Man, I don't know. I really feel like both the coyote and the wolf have such an important place in my life. I feel like they're both my guides, just in different ways. Maybe the coyote really represents me, but the wolf guides me. Because I am a teacher. I often teach through stories that illustrate life lessons rather than rattling off facts or principles. And I think that's exactly why I'm a pre-K teacher. Yep. We don't need all those facts in pre-K. We just need to learn about life. And that's the coyote energy at work in my life. So we can ask for the coyote's help when we're faced with a choice where it's unclear what our next move is, which would be the smart one, and which one would create chaos. If we're confused about a dream, vision, or recent experience, and we want to understand its deeper and subtler meanings. If we have the blues and we've lost our sense of humor, failing to see the cosmic joke in life. If we've got seemingly insurmountable problem to solve and want to generate some creative solutions. Don't we all? Insurmountable problems. That's life. Come back into focus. All right, so if you're bored with the repetitive routines of your life and you find yourself resorting to compulsive and addictive behaviors to cope with the monotony. Goodness, yes, monotony. Healthy kinds of stimulation. Yep. All right, we can access the coyote's power by playing, having fun in a spontaneous, frivolous way. Do a silly dance, or for no rhyme or reason, sing a song. You're walking down the street. Or find a grassy hill and roll with it. Walk up and down an escalator. Blah, 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 during the twilight hour. Blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of reading about all this. Doo, doo, doo. Alright, so yeah, that's all about the coyote. So now let's learn about the wolf. Alright, let's see. Briggs is still sleeping. I love Stephen D. Farmer's Power Animal book because all the animals are in alphabetical order. It makes life so much easier. Alright, so the wolf has the guardian quality, and it says, "One look in my eyes and you can see the truth of who I am. Like some of my brother and sister forelegs, we've gotten a bad rep, but we mean no harm to anyone. We have soul arrangements with all who give their lives so that we can continue ours. I love my family. With no false modesty, I am a supreme guardian and teacher. I take this role seriously, not as a burden, but as a welcome assignment and commitment. And the best teachings come through example and story." Wow, that's just what the coyote said. Yo. Wow, rather than through lecture and fundamentalist rules. Yes. Okay, I definitely relate to both. I don't know about y'all. It's also one of your natural responsibilities to teach others, not about matters of the mind, but of the heart and soul. Teach what it takes to live with others in harmony. Yes. One of the biggest lessons I teach my preschoolers is not to be afraid of bees and not to step on ants and other bugs and not to fear bugs. And that's surely not a lesson that they get most anywhere else. But we just have to live in harmony. Okay, so by my actions and through personal and mythical stories, find the balance between true freedom and the interdependency that's an inherent characteristic of living with other beings. You have no need to prove who you are to anyone, nor do you ever have to fight to prove that you're right. Have confidence in who you are and your place in the community. Don't be afraid to take the lead or to stand out, and never be reluctant to surrender that lead when necessary in the spirit of cooperation and harmony. So, if the wolf is your power animal, which it is for me, I have a strong sense of family and community, an intuitive sense of social order, willing to give and receive affection when it comes. I tend to be uncomfortable around people who talk only from their intellect. Yes, because I'm driven by the heart. Yep, I do. I have a BS detector. What about you guys? I'm very expressive, verbally, non-verbally. I can tell a story. I do avoid confrontations, but I will fight if cornered. Yep. I don't know if I command respect, but because I'm 4'11", but you know, I try. I just want love. I want to love everyone. So, and that just talks about like if we need the wolf's help. So, and to access his power, tell a story, animated, exaggerated, show love. Think about the lessons for every significant experience you have. So that's really interesting. So there seem to be a lot of similarities as well as differences between the coyote and the wolf spirit. And I really feel that I can relate to both. Does anyone else have that feeling? And maybe not even with coyotes and wolves, but like other animals that may be similar, or even different, I don't know, but like you feel guided by more than one kind of animal. I know we can all stand to learn so much from all animal energy and spirit, but canines seem to be a huge part of my life, as you can tell. Oh no, Briggs, I love you. All your fans love you. Look at the beautiful, gorgeous, wild unknown, what is it? Animal Spirit Guidebook. Wolf. I have so many different animal decks, like, I get them all confused. But I know this is Kim Cran's from The Wild Unknown, and I just am in love with her artwork. So, they don't have the coyote, but they do have the wolf. So let's see what they say. Guardian of family and tribe, activism, and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. Healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching. See, there's that teaching again with the wolf. I'm a teacher, y'all, so I guess it's no wonder that the wolf is my power animal. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes every member of the tribe must follow suit. I've always been that way. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. I just expect my family to be on board with me doing things, but that hasn't always been the case. So yeah, I can relate. Although it will be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following: embrace all, exclude none. When the wolf is in balance, she is reliable, democratic, and fearless. When she's out of balance, she's judgmental and dominating. Yup, that's definitely me. To bring it into practice, practice letting go. And that has been a major theme in my life lately. Letting go. Letting go. I can't take it with me, so I must practice non-attachment. So that is really, really wonderful. All the differences and similarities that we have with the wolf, the beautiful wolf, my power animal, and the coyote. So yeah, I definitely feel like the coyote is like the beginning of your journey, the maiden energy, youth, the folly of youth perhaps, and the wolf is the wisdom. At the end of the journey, the experience, turning that knowledge of the journey into wisdom and becoming the crone. So both coyotes and wolves are very special to me, and I hope you enjoyed learning with me about their physical traits as well as their spiritual traits and their energy. And blessed be, thank you for watching. I hope that this information enhances and blesses your life and your spiritual practice. And I love each of you. Mwah. Peace out. Bye. So we read the Power Animal book by Stephen D. Farmer, and now we have the Power Animals Oracle card. And we have the coyote, the wise fool, and the wolf, the guardian. The wolf says you are safe and protected at all times. And the coyote says, accept your follies and find the teaching in them. So definitely like the folly of youth and then the wisdom, being protected and wise. So let's see what they have to say. The wolf says you are safe and protected at all times. Trust that. The physical, emotional, and psychic barriers you've erected to protect yourself from past hurts and wounds, they're simply no longer needed. You've moved beyond your need for the illusion of safety that these habitual defenses have provided. It's time to trust that Spirit is always available to aid in your protection when you really need it. Relaxing these barriers and knowing that they're accessible if you really need them leaves you open to love, both giving and receiving, especially to the ones you're closest to. Don't hold back, clutching to some obscure fear that others won't love you back. Be courageous in expressing your affection for those you love, and know that your family ultimately extends beyond any lines drawn by heredity, race, or even species. All of us beings on this planet are family, whether human, animal, or plant. And the more you love, the more love finds you. Take good care. Additional associations for the wolf are family, loyalty, friendship, and teacher. That is amazing. Amazing. Oh, and that's what Stephen D. Farmer looks like. Website www.poweranimals.com. Alright, cool. Moving right along. Look at all that. Look at all that. Look at my knee. Don't look at my knee. Look at Briggs' booty. Scratch the booty. He's like, I really love booty rubs, but I'm trying to sleep. Oh, man. Canines. Coyote is the wise fool. Accept your follies and find the teaching in them. Pause for a moment. Think of those times when you've acted thoughtlessly or foolishly, perhaps even recently. How did you feel? Embarrassed? Ashamed? Well, it's time to let go, to stop attacking or shaming yourself. It's not just about forgiving yourself or blindly accepting these instances. It goes way beyond that to loving the fool inside. Take part of you, that part of you that with such childlike innocence behaves in a way that sometimes brings on social or self-condemnation. To sincerely and deeply love that part of you surpasses rote forgiveness or bland acceptance. It opens you to loving yourself unconditionally, as well as loving the foibles of others. The burden of such shame is too great for anyone to carry. You must see those idiosyncrasies with a sense of humor. When you do something foolish, the sooner you can laugh about it with yourself, but not at yourself, the sooner you can move to a place of true self-acceptance. It's often only later, when we can look back at these situations, that we can discern the more important lessons and the wisdom contained within them. So, additional associations for the coyote are trickster, sociability, adaptability, and wisdom keeper. So let's see what the oracle has to say about the wolf.